Good morning and welcome to our live coverage of the 2024 National Assembly elections.
Good morning, Badriya, and it's really a pleasure to have you on this beautiful democratic day. And honestly, it's really Kuwaiti citizens should be proud on this day.
Absolutely, and I'm always happy to be here to cover this event with my esteemed colleagues, our esteemed guests, and our hardworking correspondents in the field. So I'm excited to unravel this program with you today, Fareed.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to Kuwait Television's exclusive live coverage of the 2024 National Assembly elections, marking the commencement of the 18th legislative term. Our dear viewers, the 2024 Kuwaiti National Assembly elections hold a significant importance as the 21st parliamentary elections in Kuwait's rich history. Today, Kuwaiti voters are engaging in the democratic process as they flock to polling stations across the 5 electoral constituencies. Their collective voice will resonate in the selection of the 50 members out of 65-seat parliament, shaping the future political landscape of the nation. The participation of the Kuwaiti voters in these elections is vital, underscoring their pivotal role in steering the country's political direction. This democratic exercise underscores Kuwait's commitment to progress, mirroring the hopes and priorities of its diverse people.
That's right, Fareed, and noteworthy in this particular electoral contest is the participation of 14 women among the 255 candidates vying for seats in the National Assembly. Stay tuned as we delve into the unfolding narrative of Kuwait's democratic journey, where every vote cast today paves the way for a brighter tomorrow. To shed light on the 2024 National Assembly elections, we have a special program prepared for you today, including our special guests and live updates from the polls from our correspondents. But before we kick off our special coverage, let's take a moment to view this report. Stay tuned after this.
In a nation where unity is strength, where every voice matters, the state of Kuwait unites us. On the 4th of April, Election Day arrives. A day where the nation's heartbeat resonates in every vote cast. It's a day of empowerment, a day of choice, where the future is shaped by the will of the people.
Political life. The late Emir Sheikh Abdullah Salim al-Sabah issued a decree on August 1961 forming a higher council tasked with working on a law organizing constituent assembly elections. The law divided the country into 10 electoral areas, from which 2 representatives would be elected via secret ballot. Members of assembly would amount to 20 elected representatives as well as appointed ministers. The law also specified that an elected representative must not be younger than 30 years of age and that he masters the Arabic language in reading and writing. On December the 30th of the same year, elections were held and 20 members were elected. They were joined by appointed members of government, dubbed transitional government, formed on January the 17th by decree of Emir. The government included 14 ministers, 11 of which were members of the royal family and 3 were elected members. In the morning of January the 20th, 1962, Sheikh Abdullah Salim inaugurated the assembly in a speech declaring principles of democracy and describing it as a pillar of the modern state, and affirmed that it's the duty of the assembly to propose modes of governance qualified for a democratic future. During that session, Abdul Latif Thnayan Al-Qanim was chosen as Assembly Speaker and Dr. Ahmed Al-Khatib as Deputy. The Assembly formed a committee of 5 personnel to draft the Constitution, including all of Yaqub Al-Hamidi, Hamoud Al-Khalid, Abdul Latif Al-Qanim, Saoud Al-Abd Al-Razzaq, as well as the late Sheikh Saad Al-Abdullah Sabah. The committee accomplished its task in 23 meetings between March of 1962 and October of the same year, and handed in its report to the Assembly, which discussed and voted on it. The Emir rectified and published the Constitution on November the 11th, 1962. Assembly Speaker at the time, Abdul Latif Al Qanim, stated while handing in the Constitution draft to the late Emir, principles of democracy and inspired by the reality of Kuwait in an effort to achieve the hopes of the Emir for his people. On his part, the late Emir replied, thanking the Assembly for the significant efforts in achieving the hopes and aspirations of the people for a democratic future that goes hand in hand with Kuwaiti culture and traditions. On January 23rd of the following year, and after concluding the works of the Constituent Assembly, the first National Assembly elections were held, in accordance to the newly instated Constitution, which remains to be the governing doctrine to this day. The issuance of the 1962 Constitution represents a watershed in the history of Kuwait and its democratic process.
Welcome back, our esteemed viewers of the first coverage of the National Assembly 2024. Now, to delve into further details, allow us to move to another exciting segment with you. The privilege of casting a vote stands as a cornerstone of the democratic liberties valued by the people of Kuwait, serving as a vibrant element for engaging in the nation's governance. Numerous factors intertwine to underscore the profound importance of election within Kuwaiti culture. Our dear viewers, please allow us to welcome our esteemed guest, Mr. Saleh Al-Abeid, a distinguished economic expert. Mr. Al-Abeid brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to our discussion today, with a deep understanding of the intricacies of economic landscape and their impact on society. We are honored to have his insights and perspectives enrich our conversation today. Mr. Saleh Al-Abeid, it's really a pleasure to have you, and bless you with the holy month of Ramadan also.
Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to participate in this very important event here, and thank you for the introduction. And just to correct, Nader Saleh.
Nader Saleh Al-Abeid, yes, yes. And it's okay. We had the privilege, to meet you in other shows, definitely.
That's right.
It's really a pleasure. Mr. Al-Abeid, definitely, what opportunities for change do elections present in Kuwait's democratic landscape in your point of view?
Well, the election is an opportunity for people to understand what's coming for the future. Mm-hmm. And since we are in Holy Ramadan, the speech of His Highness gave a roadmap for the future of Kuwait, mm-hmm. and in a way encouraging people to participate and have their responsibility toward the election and avoid the boycott for that, because it is part of the participation. Yeah. This is one side. The other side is the election. It came after His Highness, mm-hmm. with his feedback that we need to correct action and measure our performance for the next stage. Mm-hmm. Now, these kind of guidelines, I think, should encourage people to focus on the right choice, and important to keep in mind the future of Kuwait. Now, the election give opportunity to diversify experienced people and responsible people to take Kuwait to another stage.
Exactly.
Now, everybody is complaining about some, let's say, curves or some, let's say, reduction in quality for certain sectors, like the services. Now, instead of complaining, I think we should participate by choosing the right people who are constructively think how to put things together. Now, each country has some challenges, but I think it's about time to change, and the start of the change is the election for 2024.
That's definitely the speech of His Highness the Emir Sheikh Mish'al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah was the roadmap indeed, and definitely urging everybody to choose the suitable, the right, the good candidate. Definitely, this is it was really in his speech in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. That's true. Definitely. Speaking of that, so how can the preservation of elections as a symbol of freedom contribute to the nation's self-determination? Mr. Nader.
Well, we are privileged with the election and the democracy. So, first of all, we need to give a good impression about ourselves and the privilege that we have in Kuwait. With what's going on now in the region, worldwide, I think we should, first of all, give a good impression about Kuwait and keeping the democracy environment in a very positive way. Now, when it comes to the election and the experience that we have in different occasions, definitely now, there are internal issues we need to take care of, and external. Now, the internal, it is our choice how to correct it, but on top of that, we need to reposition Kuwait on the international side. Now, everybody is watching Kuwait in terms of rating, in terms of challenges, and everybody is blaming the, let's say, the
routine,
the bureaucracy, and the and the miscoordination between the two authorities, which is the parliament and the government, is the cause. I think this is very important to correct the mission and give a good impression about that, because you know the election and the democracy, it's a responsibility.
Exactly.
So we need to deliver that, and we have to keep in mind both sides, the regional challenges, the local challenges, and the international challenges with that. Definitely that there are so many things clear to everybody, even the decision makers, that there are some action to be taken. But I think with the election, definitely the roadmap will be much better, clear after we end up and see the results of the Kuwaiti whom they are choosing.
Definitely, and speaking of how the outer world, sees Kuwait, as you mentioned earlier in your answer, Mr. Labeid, the other day I was watching this beautiful report about American activists, how praising Kuwait for how Kuwait always helps the nations that in the need, or like those poor nations, and definitely he was comparing the state of Kuwait to the United States. So imagine, and this is really make me so proud, Mr. Labeid. I don't know if you have anything to say about that.
Yeah, well, in fact, the vision that Kuwait has, especially after the independence.
Yeah.
Definitely, there are clear messages and
goals.
objectives
Exactly.
related to the investment and the human rights and so many events and the participation and contributing through Kuwait Fund. So many things are labeling Kuwait in the positive direction toward even other nations. This is very important. Now, since we are talking about that specific
area,
many people, they don't know what Kuwait has contributed through Kuwait Fund. Kuwait Fund, the participation toward other countries, when you compare it, because usually there is a kind of benchmark for each country, how do they contribute in different terms, in terms of
loans and
economy or healthcare. There are so many diversified participation in Kuwait wearing different hats. If you are talking about Kuwait Fund, they are into the economic side. If you go to the what's called the Red Crescent, there are a contribution in that.
Exactly.
There are so many things. Even the Arab Fund. It's not called the Kuwait Fund. The Arab Fund.
The Arab Fund.
The Arab Fund, based in Kuwait, who initiated the idea, His Highness Jabir Ahmed at that time, and it was another arm that Kuwait can collaborate on the Arab Fund, I mean, in the Arab world.
Absolutely.
You know, so many things I think we should focus in terms of marketing and enhancing the role of Kuwait in the international market. It's very important.
Absolutely. I wish, you know, especially on social media, a lot of nowadays generation, definitely they have to know the value of their country. So moving on, Mr. Al-Ubaid, so what key issues and objectives are Kuwaiti citizens looking to address through the upcoming elections?
Definitely, there are so many things. There are needs which we consider it's important and to be solved right away, which is, you know, how to handle the inflation. The inflation is very important because this might eat up the value of the dinar enhanced in the Kuwaiti citizens. So this is one issue need to be addressed. The other issues are the quality of or the outcome of the education. Because you see, now we don't need to provide an education. We need to be concerned about the quality of the education and improve the ranking worldwide. This is very important.
That's true.
Second, the healthcare. Instead of just doing the regular things, I think we should have it as a benchmark and improve the rating. And how to do that? By bringing investors and using the non-government fund. When we say the non-government
funds,
which could be countries, individuals, or foreign investment or funds.
Private sectors?
Private sector. So, because, you know, we don't want to say private sector. When we say private sector, we say, well, the merchant, and no, we are talking about non-government funds, which could be addressed to any investor who is willing to invest in certain sector, because always, if you want to improve quality of services, you cannot, there is a conflict of interest. If you are operating, if you are the operator, you cannot be the supervisor or the monitor.
Okay, I see.
So why don't we, as a government, to improve it, let the private sector or the investor to handle it and wear the hat of the monitor.
Monitor, exactly.
This way, I can improve it and at least ease the cost on the fund to be reutilized for other areas. So, you know, those are the things that I think the election or the objectives to be considered right away. There are things on the international side or the regional. Kuwait need to be repositioned as used to be on the, let's say, diplomatic way, because we are shying away. We used to hold the important events internationally.
Exactly.
Now we need to reconsider that,
That
role,
again.
regional and international, because Kuwait always is the bright side of these kind of events. So, you know, there are so many things need to be considered, whether locally and internationally.
That's definitely the case, as you mentioned. Definitely, we need to address a lot of issues, but definitely health and inflation and etc. of these cases. So, in what ways do these elections influence the political dynamics and future trajectory of Kuwait?
I did not get
basically, in what ways do these elections influence the political dynamic and future trajectory of Kuwait, the path of Kuwait?
Well, let's look at it differently. Who's first, the objectives of Kuwait or the election, or the outcome of the election? Now, the election comes to support the government.
The government, exactly.
And that's why the government always constructed after the election. But still, each government has the objectives to be materialized within a certain time and to be measured within a certain time and to be executed. What's the role of the parliament? Here, it is important to coordinate and to co-op together to materialize the objective of the Kuwait, because both of them are wearing the hat of how to improve Kuwait name in the worldwide. This is one. Second, the parliament is responsible for creating the laws as an environment.
Exactly.
Let's say if the government is targeting the foreign investors, and the role of the parliament should create the laws to match that objective, not to criticize it or to minimize the objective of that. So the coordination is very important. So the roadmap could be from both sides to be reshaped. Now, when we talk about the political side, definitely we don't want to hold the parliament is the responsible for delaying our objectives. This is a message should be delivered from the members, okay, in the near future. Why? Because this is always, when we go through the rating agencies, always the Kuwait is a rich country. Luckily, we have funds, we have investment, we have so many things.
Thank goodness.
As a privilege, but and we have the democracy. But the democracy sometimes does not work with the objectives. So we don't want the democracy to be held as responsible
as an obstacle.
As an obstacle. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. We are, one of the really oldest democracy in the region, and definitely we are proud of it, dear viewers. So I would like to thank you, but we'll stay, together. We have a long conversation, Mr. Al-Abeid. So I think we'll be back, dear viewers, and after that break.
In a nation where unity is strength, where every voice matters, the state of Kuwait unites us. On the 4th of April, Election Day arrives. A day where the nation's heartbeat resonates in every vote cast. It's a day of empowerment, a day of choice, where the future is shaped by the will of the people. Collecting the voice of the nation. Choose your future. Be part of the change and vote on the 4th of April.
Welcome back to Kuwait Television live coverage of the 2024 National Assembly elections for the 18th legislative term. Allow us to go back to our distinguished conversation with Mr. Nader Saleh Al Abeid, our guest. Really, it's a privilege to have you, Mr. Nader. Definitely, you are really enlightening us, you know, with these beautiful really conversation and these beautiful answers. Definitely everybody is really looking forward to this election, Mr. Al Abeid. So how can the media effectively shape public awareness and opinion during the election period? Definitely we are in a huge burst, you know, of a lot of platforms, social media, other than the traditional media.
Well, the media now, or actually what we call the technology, let's
Exactly.
say, let's put it this way, the technology,
The technology, yeah.
is helping
Yeah.
the government and the Ministry of Interior to direct
Aha.
every citizen where to go.
Okay.
So maximizing the benefit of the technology, now I can check my mobile and know where to go easily. We used to go to the traditional way, where to go and go to the you know, the
lists and
So
exactly
this is
the old way. Yeah,
this is an advantage for the technology, how to maximize
Definitely
the
this is-
benefit. of
yeah,
it.
that's
This
a
is
beautiful
one.
benefit.
Second, we used to have kind of the headquarter for the candidates,
exactly.
whether it's a villa or a tent or
Yeah.
and we
Usually
used
it was
to
a
go-
tent. Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
back in the days.
Now, the candidates, because of the technology,
Mm-hmm.
they are not waiting for you to come. They are approaching
Approaching you.
and reaching you through the podcast, through some ads or
Exactly.
some messages.
Addresses, yeah.
So the technology helped us in a way to market our thoughts as citizen, our thoughts
As
as candidates,
Yeah.
and on top of that, to spread our views easily and easier. Now, there is a bright side and there are some challenges. Now, whatever comes in the media, let's say, we need to be very careful because it's supervised and watched from people outside. So there are domestic issues
Yeah.
we need to contain
Yeah.
and deal with it carefully,
Carefully, that's true.
not to
Expose it.
not expose it, not to give bad impression and
Okay.
to affect our reputation as Kuwait.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
This is very important.
That's very
So
important.
everybody should be responsible for that. Now, definitely we see the podcast is active nowadays. We see this technology attracting the youth toward the election. Because
It's true, yeah.
yeah, because you see, the youth and the young people, usually they have no time to go and
Exactly.
listen.
But now they are, you know, they are working with other candidates. You know.
And even now, the what's it called, the efficiency in using the technology, what they are doing, they are giving the kind of teasers, okay, to attract people to follow certain candidates. So, you know, the social media or the technology help the election differently. Now, always there are people who unfortunately misuse that, which we encourage.
Yeah, this is the dark side
Yeah,
of it.
yeah. Well, His Highness
Yeah, he
tackled that
tackled this
issue,
issue, definitely.
because we need to change the culture. We have the freedom,
Yeah.
but still
When
you
you
need to
mentioned
be
the
responsible.
false
for-
accounts, yeah.
Yeah. So the technology has the bright side, and fortunately that we are maximizing the use of it, especially in the election. There is always 5-10%, which is, you know, the gray area.
Exactly.
I think it should not affect the 90%
Yeah,
of the
the
brightness
majority,
for
yeah,
that technology. I think that the technology has a lot to
Beautiful.
do and improved and helped the awareness. Now, if you see the Ministry of Interior
Yeah,
yesterday,
yeah,
everybody was confused what to do and
exactly.
message with one
With
one minute.
officer, yeah, yeah.
What,
Clarified
clear
everything
the idea and gave kind of awareness
to
what
everybody.
to everybody. So you know the technology helps us in a way that we should encourage of turning the technology into our style of life, but in a very professional manner.
Definitely. You really, Mr. Labed, my recollection, and you reminded me, you know, I remember, you know, those candidates when they are putting their, you know, pictures and, you know, the flags or the posters, you know, and you remember those,
course,
and whoever puts lots, you know, he's, you know, the best. So you see 20 picture for the same candidate on the street,
That's
blocking
right.
the ways. But see how, you know, the development and the progress, you know, from the tent, you know, now we have a platform and people come to this address, you know, easily everybody knows where to go. That's
this,
beautiful
this,
shift.
This minimizes the cost of the candidate, by the way.
Exactly, that's true.
Money-wise,
Yeah.
because you see now, they can invest in different things, but still it's lowering the cost of
The
that
cost,
because
If you have an X platform account and you can talk about it, or Instagram or those social media platforms, you don't need a campaign center, or you know what I mean.
Of course,
Yeah.
of
So
course.
that's why it's true. You minimize. A lot of people, they put themselves as candidates, you know, and they know they are not gonna. It's not gonna cost them any penny. So
Yeah, the other thing is, since we are talking about the technology,
yeah.
as a tradition and culture, the female usually they are not interested to go to the
Exactly,
headquarters.
exactly.
So they are away. They are not aware of the objectives or the program or the candidate. What's his background? But now, with the technology, even the female, while they are
Interested.
at home, they can follow and they can choose the right candidate.
And they negotiate, discuss.
So,
They have a lot of
yeah, I
objectives.
attended one of the events that day, where you know the podcast, not with the interviewer. The podcast is with the audience.
Audience, okay,
And
amazing.
so
There's-
it was beautiful.
beautiful. Nice.
So you know the technology helped a lot in reshaping, let's say, the election in a very professional manner.
Definitely.
And you know the education and the experience that the young
Yeah, the
people
youngsters,
are.
yeah, absolutely. Young generation, yeah.
The young generation are helping a lot.
Okay.
Why? Because they are very good. in
Exactly, they are
technology.
very talented nowadays. Exactly, our kids, you know, with all these devices and you know electronic
Yeah, this
games.
is a modern language now.
Definitely, it's affecting you know our. What are the anticipated challenges in ensuring a fair and transparent electoral process?
Well, luckily that that transparency is there
Yeah, thank goodness.
in terms of voting, showing the election and through the official channels
Channels, yeah. Everybody
where
watching.
people are watching,
Yeah, official and private channels also.
and the candidates, they have representatives, so this is part of the transparency. On top of that, any candidate thinks that he is he lost his right in a way. He can go to the law and court and raise and to get the fairness.
Exactly.
So even the events or the experience that we had
Yeah.
all these years, it shows the transparency
Absolutely.
and the efficiency in
Yeah.
how to handle
Absolutely.
these kind of things. I think 50, 60 years of experience, definitely we are improving
Exactly.
the environment and giving a good opportunity even for the international media that we are handling the election in a very professional manner. Luckily that we don't see kind of, let's say, vice or kind of argument in these kind of things.
Chaos and stuff like that. Yeah.
This shows that all the elections is peacefully handled.
Yeah.
And
And a beautiful harmony environment.
we used to see it differently in the old
Yeah,
days,
old days. Yeah.
where even the candidates, they have small tents,
Tents, yeah.
or
Near the school, yeah. Or the polling station.
or corners
Yeah.
near the schools,
Yeah.
where all the candidates visiting each
Each
other.
other, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
we are.
That was the spirit. Yeah.
So this shows that although there is a competition, but it is a very healthy competition, and after the election, people congratulate each other, which is a good picture for Kuwait. Each election, we are, let's say, enjoying the scenery of that.
That definitely, Mr. Al-Abeid, and you can tell about the transparency. A lot of Gulfies, citizens of the Gulf or the GCC, when they watch us, doing this election, they brag about it. And they say, "Oh, it's beautiful to have this kind of democracy in Kuwait," and definitely everybody loves it, and especially people coming casting their votes, feeling that they are sharing in the building their country. Definitely, this is one of the main issues.
And let me comment on that in specific. You see, there are odd messages sometimes comes. You see the advice and the correction coming from others, not from the official channel, shows that there are many people who are responsible to correct it in a way.
In a way.
So, as we say, the odd votes, let's say, represent small percentage of our community.
Exactly.
So, which is healthy sometimes. Maybe it's a learning curve for them.
Maybe that's true.
In a way, it's a learning curve for them. So this improves the awareness and the culture in Kuwait.
That's definitely, as you mentioned, definitely transparency and fairness. It's there, and everybody, even the national and international committees, they say that Kuwaiti elections always fair and transparent. Definitely. So let's move on. And how do you perceive the impact of young voters? Speaking of young generation, Mr. Al-Abeid, young voters on election outcomes and political decisions. So imagine, back in the days, I mean, the voters were, from certain age, but now a new generation is really young, robust, resilient. They have a lot of demands. So how this will, definitely change or have this impact on the election outcomes and political decisions?
Well, in communities, always the minority needs vote.
Exactly.
In Kuwait, the young generation represents 60%. So they are not minority.
Not minority. They are
so
majority.
they should be
exactly
represented by young candidates,
Absolutely.
which is healthy. Now, in my opinion, since we have and we are enjoying the democracy, why don't we include that in our educational stage?
That's true.
Why is that? Because, first of all, to educate them, to raise the awareness, and to give the hope for any candidate or any young person who is willing to enter the political field. At least he knows the basic things in terms of the election or the, let's say, the political environment for the parliament. So this is one. Second, now the generations, the young generations, always they would like to compare things.
Exactly.
That's why
Yeah.
they want to participate in improving certain sectors, and especially now they are well educated, they read a lot, they expose a lot,
Oh, yeah.
and they are
And
talented.
And they impact the decision and the politics course in their countries. We've seen a lot of issues, Mr. Labeid, nowadays, and we see how the Western media towards these issues, and it's all youngsters, all a young generation using those platforms, and all of a sudden you see the media shifting. It was on one side and then it's on the other side because of that generation impact.
Well, you see, now they are entering into another area, which is statistics. You see now, so many, a lot of young guys, now they are entering that with their analysis. The analysis, if it's based on statistics, definitely this will give you you are in better position to negotiate and to defend and to criticize and or to correct.
Exactly.
This way,
To create a stand, for example.
That's why you see that when they negotiate, or at least say, we don't want to say argue, but they are exchanging views with the candidate, it shows that they read a lot. They are well positioned in terms of educating themselves toward the political side. Now, not always that. Sometimes because they do care about their interests and their objectives. When they argue, or at least when they seek to exchange views or to handle some objectives related to them, you see them, they are keen about where are we standing in toward the sport compared to others. They tackle.
Yeah, that's true.
So the comparison.
Sport is a big issue, yeah.
So that's why they are trying to give the opportunity to the young candidates to handle it in a very professional
And that's exactly how they impact basically the election. The candidates has to be more smart and more aware of the younger generation demands and requirements. Definitely, as you mentioned, they require younger candidates, unlike back in the days. Always select or choose the older, the wiser. So definitely, this impacted how somehow to a certain extent.
Yeah, but allow me that let's talk about unfair scene we are monitoring, or at least seeing nowadays. We don't see the female.
That's true.
The female young generation
Yeah.
are shying away from the scenes. Why?
Yeah.
This should be at least studied, because we need to know why. Why they are shying away? Is it because there is a reduction in participation? Because you see, they got the right to vote and to elect and
Exactly.
to be
Females
candidate.
voters more than
yeah, that was
males.
almost 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Now we see their representatives are very limited.
limited, yeah.
So this should be at least
Addressed.
addressed,
Yeah,
addressed in a way, because you know because the female are part of the young generation.
Definitely, speaking of women and females, definitely next we will delve into the importance of women's role in the National Assembly election. In a world where every voice matters, the presence of women in the National Assembly is not just a symbol of progress, but a testament to the power of diversity and inclusion in governance. Through their dedication, passion, and unwavering commitment to public service, Kuwaiti women have proven time and again that they are vital pillars for our society, and more details in the following report about women. So please stay tuned.
A historical milestone which signaled the role of women's empowerment in Kuwait happened in 2005, when women first obtained the right to vote and stand for election. This pivotal moment enabled Massouma El-Mbarak to become the first female minister in the history of the nation. In another major breakthrough for the country, 4 women were elected to the National Assembly 4 years later, on May 16, 2009. Gaining seats in parliament for the first time. Asil Al-Awadi and Rulla Deshti were among the winners in the 3rd district, while former health minister Massouma El-Mbarak and Salwa Al-Jasa also secured seats in parliament. Their electoral success began a new chapter in Kuwait's political history, in which women became active contributors to the democratic process of the country. Additionally, in April 2006, women exercised the right to vote and run for the municipal council for the first time, during which Jinan Bushehri became the first woman to run in the elections. The Kuwaiti leadership played a huge role in these achievements and continued to support the empowerment of women. Kuwaiti women are expecting more triumphs under the wise leadership of His Highness the Emir Sheikh Mish'al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah. May Allah bless and protect him.
In a nation where unity is strength, where every voice matters, the state of Kuwait unites us. On the 4th of April, Election Day arrives. A day where the nation's heartbeat resonates in every vote cast. It's a day of empowerment, a day of choice, where the future is shaped by the will of the people. Collecting the voice of the nation. Choose your future. Be part of the change and vote on the 4th of April.
Dear viewers, welcome back. Definitely, we are, having this conversation with our distinguished guest, Mr. Nader Labed. But definitely, we have a special segment for you as we are joined live from our colleague Badriya. Badriya, I don't know if you have any reporters out in the constituencies.
Thank you for that intro, Farid. Yes, we are going to go live now in a special part of our segment. We have our correspondents, live in the various constituencies around the country at the polls for us to tell us what's happening as the polls open and voting unfolds. We're going to start first with our correspondent, Mohammed Al-Nazi, who's going to provide for us real-time updates and insights straight from the polls as we dive into the pulse and election process. Our correspondents offer a first-hand account of the unfolding events and dynamics in this crucial constituency. Mohammed, thanks for joining us, and could you please describe to us the current atmosphere at your constituency?
Yes, good afternoon to you, Badriya, and good afternoon to our dear viewers watching this special coverage. I'm here at Al Amna School in Desma, which is accepting female voters in the first constituency. Now, the gate of the school opened at 12 p.m., and the voters have been slowly coming into the school to cast their vote in the 2024 National Assembly elections, to choose their candidate of choosing to represent them at the National Assembly. Now, this particular school has 4,121 registered voters in one main committee and 3 subcommittees. And to make today's process run well and smooth, various government institutions are working together, one of which is the Ministry of Interior, which will organize the flow of voters from entering the school until reaching the polling stations, casting their vote, and exiting the school, and of course safeguarding the premises of the school area. The Ministry of Health is also present with ambulances, medical teams, and mobile health clinics to ensure the health and safety of everyone participating in this beautiful democratic process taking place all across our beloved country.
Thank you, Mohammed Al-Nizi. Now we're going to go next to our switch to our stream box, to connect with our correspondent in the second constituency, Mohammed Al-Haji. Mohammed, thank you for joining us. Can you provide an overview of the procedural steps being followed during the voting process at the polling stations where you're at?
Yes, I'm here on Ammaq al-Asadiyya in the second constituency in the electoral. The weather is a bit warm, so we don't expect much voters are coming and submit their votes in here. So in the next few hours, we expect more people are coming to put their votes. There are Ministry of Interior oversees the entire election process from registration all the way to the final results. Also in charge of security and support at polling station. Back to you.
Thank you for that update, Mohammed. Now we'll move on and check on our correspondent in the third constituency, Nasser Al-Husainan. Nasser, thanks for joining us. Could you please share with us what the latest updates are at your location?
Thank you, Badriya. Good morning to you and good morning to everyone who's watching. I am currently in the third constituency in Al-Khaldiyya at exactly Abdullah Al-Utaybi's high school. And as we can see, the people are coming to cast their votes because that's what they should do in this holy month of Ramadan. We urge people to come and cast their votes because this is a very important day in Kuwait and to choose who they're picking wisely because they will shape the future of Kuwait and the future of the people. Back to you, Badriya.
Thank you, Nasser, for the update. Now we will go to Mariam Al-Dawahi, who is live from the fourth constituency to provide us with this unique aspects and experiences shaping the electoral landscape in her area. Mariam, thanks for joining us. Tell us a bit about the atmosphere at your constituency.
Yes, Badriya, the general atmosphere here in the fourth constituency is running smoothly and normal, but slower than usual due to Ramadan condition. But right now the turnout is running smoothly. The process from in and out doesn't take more than 15 or maybe less than 15 minutes. We have also other bodies here collaborating to ensure the security and success of the electoral process for the 2024 elections. It is noteworthy that Al-Jaha and Al-Farwaniya are both parts of Al-Farwaniya governorates are gathered in the fourth constituency, and they has the second highest number of eligible voters to cast their votes or to cast their ballots to elect 10 out of 48 candidates to represent them in Abdullah Salem Hall for the National Assembly. It is also noteworthy that the Ministry of Information, Ministry of Interior and Ministry of Justice are all collaborating in addition to Kuwait Fire Forces, medical emergencies and other bodies like civil defense to help the elderly and disabled people to participate and take practice in their national duties. For more information, I will update you in my next polling station with more further information. But right now, we are expecting a little bit more increase in the turnout because the prayer just ended, and we can see now from the gate that people are started to come in groups, not as in groups to vote for someone else, but in groups as they just finished their prayers and now they are ready to practice their national duties. Back to you, Badriya.
Thank you, Mariam, for that update from the 4th constituency. Now we'll go to our correspondent, Mohammed Al Harbi, who's reporting from the 5th constituency. Thanks for joining us, Mohammed. Could you please elaborate on the circumstances and dynamics of the voting process where you're currently stationed?
Yes, thank you. I'm here actually at Ayoub Hussein Al Ayoub High School in Sabah Al Ahmed area, which is in the 5th constituency. The doors just opened at 12 o'clock. There was people already standing at the door when it opened, and the dynamics actually are very smooth. The Ministry of Interior is arranging everything from the parking outside to the voters going inside and going to the polling stations and giving their votes. So everything's going smooth. The operation is very well planned and well executed as well. And the voters for this specific school are actually around 10,000 voters. So we have seen just a small amount of that big number. And since it's just the first hour of voting, so this is really expected, and they're actually coming more and more. As you can see behind me, people are going into the school and they are coming out within a few minutes of going inside. So this actually explains how quick and how smooth the operation is in the school. And back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Mohammed, for that update. And I want to give a thanks to all of our correspondents at all 5 of the constituencies for your hard work and dedication and your insight as you cover the live polling as it unfolds. And we look forward to checking in with you as the process develops throughout the day. Dear viewers, we want to invite you to please stay tuned with us as we continue our special coverage of the 2024 National Assembly elections. After this break, we'll go back to our special guest and my co-host Farid in the studio. Stay tuned after this. We have so much more for you.
Welcome back, dear viewers. Definitely, I'd like to thank our reporters, in all the constituencies, and especially standing in this, somehow hot weather, fasting. I know definitely it's going to be a little bit hectic, but our country really deserve that, and we need to urge everybody to go there. I think after Dhuhr prayers, everybody willing to just walk a little bit, and go cast their vote. Definitely great thanks to our reporters, great thanks to all the our police officers and the security personnel, the Interior Ministry, the Judiciary district in our government. Definitely everybody, first aid, health ministry, information ministry, all these let's say foot soldiers, and that battle of election are really I'm grateful, and every Kuwaiti citizen is grateful for them. So going back to our distinguished guest and Kuwait Television live coverage of 2024 National Assembly election of the 18th legislative term, our distinguished guest Nader Saleh Al-Ubaid, economic expert, and beautiful to have you with us watching all these reporters, Mr. Nader.
Yeah, it is a collective effort, frankly speaking, where we see the people are participating, and since we are talking about watching the coverage, we expect people, because the election starts 12, which is the prayer time. That's why people gonna start now flowing away, and I think the evening
to be more.
Yes,
especially the 2 hours before breaking the fast, before iftar.
No, even after the
this is definitely
because
after.
this is going to be a social.
Yeah, this will be social gathering.
Yeah, it's social gatherings because
that's true.
And usually they have it from, let's say, after the Isha prayer until the time of Al-Qiyam, which is we are talking about 2 or 3 hours.
Exactly.
Definitely, this is going to be even the voters. The people who are going to participate in that, definitely, or most of them, they will stay.
Yeah, they will stay
just to exchange views, to get the feeling, the environment. So it is in a way not only just voting and leave. In some events, some areas, you see the social events.
The Kuwaiti Diwaniya, for example. Yeah, but in election, you see, that's the beauty of our culture, and our country, and the habits of our families, and Mr. Al-Ubaid. Definitely, it's beautiful. Although, let's say you are supporting a candidate, I'm supporting another, but still, you see this conversation. How is your work, your voters, my voters? So definitely, each one talk about that, and everybody wants to urge everybody to come and cast their vote.
Yeah, you see, in a way, this kind of changing views. To get the non-official opinion.
Exactly.
Why? Because when we are not here as syndicates or blocks.
Exactly.
Here, most of them are individuals. So, and our judgment, there are different size of it. First of all, the background of the candidate, the exposure in terms of social, and on top of that, there are certain areas where people wants to know more to make sure that I'm going toward the right decision. So these type of things, in a way, even if we exchange views, or the people usually they exchange views, they take it positively.
Exactly.
Which is a healthy way.
Beautiful, absolutely. And now, before going with our questions and conversation, now we will turn our attention to the latest figures and updates with the upcoming details infographic report. Stay tuned.
As the state of Kuwait electoral process involves a unique system of electoral districts and regional representations, this report aims to provide an overview of Kuwait's electoral districts and the distribution of regions within these districts. Kuwait is divided into 5 electoral districts, each representing different geographical areas within the country. The first electoral district. This district encompasses various areas, including the Capital Governorate, Hawali Governorate, and Mubarak al-Kabir Governorate. The second electoral district. The second district represents the Al Ahmadi Governorate. The third electoral district. This district includes the Farwaniya Governorate. The fourth electoral district. The fourth district represents the Jahra Governorate. The fifth electoral district. This district encompasses the Hawalli Governorate. Number of regions within the districts. Each electoral district is further divided into several regions, each with its own unique characteristics and demographics. The number of regions within each electoral district varies, with some districts having more regions than others. The distribution of regions within the electoral district is as follows. The first electoral district, the capital governorate. It includes several regions such as Sharq, Murghab, Dasman, and Kuwait City. Hawalli Governorate. Regions within this governorate includes Hawalli, Salmiya, and Mishraf. Mubarak al-Kabir Governorate. This governorate consists of regions like Sabah al-Salim and Mubarak al-Kabir City. The second electoral district, Al-Ahmadi Governorate. It comprises regions such as Al-Ahmadi City, Fantas, and Mahbula. Third electoral district, Farwaniya Governorate. Regions within this governorate includes Farwaniya City, Abbasiyya, and Khaitan. The fourth electoral district, Jahra Governorate. It includes regions like Jahra City, Naim, and Jahra Industrial. The fifth electoral district, Hawalli Governorate. Apart from being part of the first electoral district, it includes regions like Hawalli, Salmiya, and Mishraf. Kuwait's electoral system is structured around 5 electoral districts, each representing different geographical areas within the country. These districts are further divided into regions, ensuring fair representation and participation in the electoral process. Understanding the distribution of regions within each electoral district is crucial for effective governance and democratic practices in Kuwait.
Welcome back, dear viewers. Definitely, that was a beautiful and a brief summary about the governorate of Kuwait. And we are back with our distinguished guest in the studio, Mr. Nader Saleh Al Ubaid. Mr. Al Ubaid, definitely, speaking of the governorate, you know, we have the 5th constituencies is the largest, I guess. And still, in each constituency, we noticed that female voters more than male voters. So it's a woman's century, I guess, and generation.
Yes, but I think with the increase of population for each governorate, I think it's important now to reshape the distribution of the candidate.
Okay, I see.
I think this should be addressed.
Yeah, maybe in the near
I think
future.
because it was because you see now it shows that there is imbalance. In the number of population in each one. This is why is that? Because of the new areas, residential areas.
In those areas.
Yes. Yeah. So I think this we should at least match the expansion plan towards how to percentage-wise, because this shows the fairness. Second, there are certain governorate where the female voters are active more, and some of them are non-active or less.
Exactly.
In terms of, and depends on the culture, by the way, and we need to increase or enhance awareness differently, because you see, each voter should do the due diligence based on his whether he is convinced, and the objectives of Kuwait. Now,
Absolutely. And his views, yeah.
of course. Why is that? Because even the candidates, when they were talking about their objectives 50 years ago, is completely different than now. So even the candidates should at least keep in mind the future of Kuwait and tackle that issue. There are different ways, by the way, where the candidates reshape their objectives. During Ramadan, you know, Ramadan is 1 month. The first week is you know, congratulating each other,
People
you know, and visiting the social activities. The second week, where the candidates were active to listen and to get a feedback, because you know, listening and communicating and exchanging views with the voters, definitely he would at least accommodate the most important issues in the first session.
Exactly.
Why? Because he needs success story.
Exactly. Exactly. He needs a story
because, you know,
successful.
Based on the fourth year, which is the terms of the parliament, definitely the most important thing is to please the voters. That's why you see they are focusing on what's important. That's why we go back to the basic things, which is, you know, the inflation, reconsidering the financial budget, the incentives, so many things which, you know, the voters need to be at least touching the result of that. This is one. Now, how to reshape it and where to go from there? Definitely, what now with the objectives of His Highness and encouraging the government to implement the laws and regulations and to be at least focused on that, definitely the other party will react accordingly. Why is that? Because this is where we, both of us, all of us, we are creating a new culture based on the outcome of any event. So I think it's important to see, we might see a new culture in the near future.
Absolutely, absolutely. But speaking of constituencies, like this is like off the topic, the third constituency, I think it has somehow, you know, itself an election, you know, itself in that constituency, because it's, you know, touches all the, you know, factions and Kuwaiti culture and Kuwaiti population or Kuwaiti citizens. Don't you agree with that?
Of course. You see, now there are so many things, maybe the candidates have them in their mind. But definitely once they wear different hat and stay under the Abdullah Salim hall, definitely their objectives completely might change, toward the government approach and what we need. Always what we need from the candidate is completely different than once he's in
the parliament, so as an MP,
So we have to be patient in how to handle the things. But the diversification is very important, whom we should choose to balance what Kuwait requires for that.
Exactly. And what Kuwaiti looks like.
Unfortunately, we have noticed 65% of the ex-MPs, their background is coming from one major or experience.
Exactly.
We don't see people coming from economic
exactly.
Background or
Backgrounds.
financial background.
That's true.
This will create
A balance.
imbalance,
Yeah.
okay, toward how to handle this
Exact issues. Yeah.
Why I'm saying this? Because if I don't have the experience for any economic issue, how am I going to handle it?
And make it
Or read that, yeah. Because for me, maybe the language is a bit not comfort for me.
Exactly.
So having the balance where, you know, people with investment or financial background, economic background, educational, healthcare, this will create a nice harmony, okay, and
Absolutely.
improve the
Absolutely.
outcome, because the committees within the parliament, there are certain committees.
Exactly. So it's like a diversity of, you know, carriers and, you know, engineers, doctors, finance, economists.
Those are the one who drive the objectives of the
government and nation.
Yeah.
Definitely. So speaking of strategies, definitely, Mr. Nader, in continuation of our conversation, what strategies can be implemented to increase voter participation and engagement in the electoral process? Unfortunately, you know, there is this type of, let's say, a certain percentage of Kuwaiti citizens, they say they are skeptical. They don't want to go and vote. I mean, what strategies can we implement so we can increase and minimize that minority?
Well, in our tradition, usually visiting the social events, the Diwaniyas, communicating with the audience is very important. Now, beside that, I need to accommodate what they require to make them believe that because this will make them definitely believers in our objectives. So the strategy, I think, is in a way it's by communicating the candidates with the audience and how to interact with them. This is one. Second, the regular visits will encourage people to choose, even after the election. What stops me to communicate with them and listen to them on regular basis, on a quarterly basis, monthly basis? At least this will encourage people that
to come forward and talk.
Of course, not only the election. Any election, if there is no interaction and communicating after the result of the election, definitely with the time people will be relaxed and they are not keen to participate.
Exactly.
So this is a strategy and philosophy for the candidates, okay, to be adopted. This is very important.
Very important.
Why? Because they complain that, you know, once he's elected, okay, he forgot all our needs, which is shouldn't be this way.
Exactly.
Why? Because he represents the society, and on top of that, now we are talking about 50 MPs will be reaching there. Do you think that they should represent, or each one represent who voted for them? No. The 50 represent the whole community.
Absolutely. The whole
By
nation.
crossing, yes, the services and ideas, and so I think we need to change that culture in a way, and this is what goes back to how can we improve that by including the democracy as one of the educational objectives to change the culture for the generation and let them feel it in the early ages.
Absolutely. Mr. Nader Saleh Al Ubaid, it was really a great pleasure having you and joining with us in this exclusive coverage once again. Mr. Nader Al-Abeid, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us, and wish all the candidates the best of luck.
Definitely, you are enlightened us in this beautiful conversation.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
As we eagerly anticipate our next segment, where we will unravel the intricacies of Kuwait's democracy, we invite you to join us on this enlightening journey. For historical milestones to current challenges, we will explore the evolution of democracy in Kuwait and the pivotal role it plays in shaping the nation's future. Stay tuned for more after this report, please.
From the early days of Sheikh Sabah I, the state of Kuwait has been guided by the principle of Shura, setting the foundation for a vibrant political landscape. This commitment to collective decision-making has not only fostered social and cultural advancements, but has also paved the way for Kuwait to emerge as a pioneer in parliamentary and democratic practices within the region. The principle of Shura, emphasizing consultation and consensus building, has been deeply ingrained in Kuwait's political fabric, uniting the people and the Al-Sabah family in a shared vision of shaping a prosperous future and preserving a proud heritage. This collaborative spirit has propelled Kuwait's political journey, marked by a legacy of active participation and significant parliamentary achievements that have distinguished the country on the regional stage. Kuwait's democratic experience stands as a shining example among neighboring nations, characterized by a unique blend of tradition and modernity. The traditional Shura methodology, which brought together a diverse group of Kuwaiti merchants, scholars, and members of the ruling family in the 1920s, laid the groundwork for inclusive governance and participatory decision-making. During the era of Sheikh Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah, spanning from 1921 till 1950, Kuwait witnessed the establishment of the Shura Council as a true reflection of its societal values and aspirations. Comprising of 12 appointed members, the council served as an advisory body, embodying the spirit of collaboration and unity that defines Kuwait's political landscape. The formation of the council not only symbolized a commitment to democratic principles, but also set the stage for significant milestones in Kuwait's constitutional development. In 1921, Kuwait unveiled its first written constitutional document, a testament to the country's progressive outlook and dedication to fostering a system of governance that values the voices of its people. Moreover, the creation of the Consultative Council, composed of esteemed merchants and scholars, further underscored Kuwait's dedication to inclusive decision-making processes and the promotion of democratic values. This consultative body played a crucial role in shaping Kuwait's political landscape, laying the groundwork for a future defined by transparency, accountability, and active participation of its citizens.
In a nation where unity is strength, where every voice matters, the state of Kuwait unites us. On the 4th of April, Election Day arrives. A day where the nation's heartbeat resonates in every vote cast. It's a day of empowerment, a day of choice, where the future is shaped by the will of the people. Collecting the voice of the nation. Choose your future. Be part of the change and vote on the 4th of April.
As we wrap up our comprehensive live coverage of 2024 National Assembly election, we extend our deepest gratitude to our esteemed guests, definitely, and our reporters. They were there in the constituencies, and also to my colleague Badriya. Thank you very much. That was really I felt sorry for our reporters because it's really a heated moment, and especially at this time, and they are fasting.
Exactly, but it just shows their dedication and their commitment to being a part of the democratic process in Kuwait, which, as we talked about for the past hour, is really quite a privilege. So.
Absolutely, Badriya, definitely. And I urge, our citizens and voters to cast their vote. Go out. You have time now from 12 to 12 midnight, I guess. It's
exactly.
12-hour,
12-hour
open window.
Yeah. Yep.
So don't waste it.
Don't waste it, indeed. You have time to rest after Futur if you need to.
Exactly.
To go out and vote afterwards. Yeah.
After Futur, and definitely, dear viewers, you have all the time, before, as our guest said, Qiyam prayers. Some people go to the, before that, go and vote and then go to the Qiyam prayers. Anyway, we wish everybody, a safe trip to cast their vote and come back, and beautiful day, and you should be proud of when you cast your vote. You are building, you are sharing, making decisions of your country.
Exactly, you're joining in a collective part of history. Yeah.
Absolutely. Until next time, please, wish you all the best, and until next time with another episode of this live coverage, with other colleagues. Please stay safe and goodbye.
We want to thank you for our dedicated viewers for tuning in and engaging with us during this electoral journey. And we want to remind you, democracy thrives when voices are heard and perspectives are shared. We hope this carries forward in spirit of dialogue and civic engagement as we navigate the path towards the brighter future for Kuwait. As we conclude our first live coverage of the 2024 National Assembly elections in Kuwait, we want to remind you that more live segments are on the way, as my colleague said, to provide you with real-time updates. Until the next time, stay informed, stay inspired, and stay united. Thanks for being a part of this monumentous occasion.